Go way back. Sounds very cool. You guys are doing all. But the clouds are I'm gonna try. I've got kids. Yeah, I know you're still the one. But, I'm gonna try. And I know you feel the same. I just want to tell you that I love you, that I need you, that I want you. I would love that. Keep it. Know that I love you, just need you. Know that I want you, even after all this time. Oh, nice. All right, everyone, let's take a seat. We're going to get started. Come on over. Come on over, everyone. Just want to tell you that I love you, that I need you, that I want you. Just want to tell you that I love you, that I need you, that I want you. That I love you, that I need you, that I want you. That I love you, that I need you, that I want you right here by my side, keeping. True love's feeling is that only gold, yes it is. Ain't no need for all this greed. All right, everyone, come take your seats. We're going to kick it off here. Who's excited? Woo! I know the front row is. Come on in, everyone. With good understanding and a lot of patience, you can make it. Oh, yes, you can. Stop all the worrying and complaining. You really should. There ain't no need for fighting or screaming. Only love can bring you good. We're starting out. Yeah, grab some food. All right, y'all. Welcome. How are you? All right, y'all. What's that? That's right after. Oh, karaoke. Hey, welcome everyone to AI Gatherings Silicon Valley. Who's excited for tonight? Woo! Awesome. Super thrilled to be with you all here at Google in Sunnyvale. We have a fantastic group of founders and developers here live in Silicon Valley. We also have people tuning in from all over the world. Let's give a huge round of applause to those joining us all over the world. Thrilled to have you. My name is Matt Reidenauer, and I'm part of the Accelerator and Startup Ecosystem team focused on the US, helping startups grow and build with Google. Thrilled to get to host this tonight with you all, and we're going to have some amazing people coming up and sharing a bit of what they're doing. The vision here started almost 2 years ago, where we were hosting events, and a lot of the startup founders were all coming to us and they were saying, hey, I'm building a company. I really believe in it. And I want to meet all the best AI engineers, all the developers. And then you know what? We were hearing from a bunch of developers and they were saying, hey, I want to go work with the coolest startups. And we thought, what if we were to create a space where we could bring the two together? And AI Gatherings was born. This is the place to bring the best AI startups and developers together. But tonight really is about you. And tonight is about helping you with whatever you're building, grow, build, and succeed. So let's hear just from the crew. Who here is building a startup or a founder? I see many great hands. Okay, fantastic. Who here is a developer building product? You could also be doing both. It turns out you're in good company here. I always like to start here because I do believe now is the best time ever to build. Does anyone here agree with that? Woo! Tris in the front agrees. Does anyone else agree now is the best time ever to build? Fantastic. I think that's true. Look at you're going to hear a lot about products that people are building, startups people are building, some of the latest in Google's AI tools and demos and all that. And I really believe that not only is now the best time ever to build, but also with Google, to build with Google. We are committed to you growing and shaping the future, and we want to help you be successful. So a couple ways you can do that. You can start right now. Literally right now, you can go on and click AI.studio. Pull out your phones, everyone. No, you're all good. You can start AI.studio, start building with us, and a lot of things we'll be talking about tonight. You can actually leverage that and start. We also love seeing amazing startups grow. So with the accelerator program that we run all around the world, we'll be running 20 accelerators this year in pretty much every market you can imagine. We see some amazing people build and grow with us. Like InstaLily, they're building the future of agentic AI for legacy industries. They came into our accelerator, they got early access to some of our models, and they pushed stuff into production in just a few weeks. And really cool, they were able to leverage Gemini to reduce latency by 99.8%. It's almost the most you could do. And costs by 98.3%. We're going to be talking a little bit about how you can leverage some of those tools for what you're building as well. And right after we hosted a demo day a few weeks ago, they closed a $25 million Series A. Pretty cool, right? Let's give them a round of applause. And we hope that tonight, some of the pitches you'll be hearing, some of the people you'll be meeting will have a very similar story to that. Does that sound good? Awesome. So one other just housekeeping thing is if you are interested in going a little deeper, we are right now, it's free for you to join. There is a startup school focused on Gen AI media that you can join. It'll help you get building with our tools, and people all around the world are joining, connecting with other founders, learning directly from industry experts, and getting access to some of our credit programs and more. So you can check out the QR code there and jump in. Would love to see you there. Okay. Again, tonight is all about you, so we hope that this is helpful. We're going to go through a few startup shares. We're going to see some demos with Paige. We'll have a keynote with some of our leaders here in AI and a panel, and then you'll get to hear 12 startup lightning pitches. Does that sound cool? Awesome. Okay, I can't wait. Well, up first, I am delighted to introduce Paige Bailey, who is creator and developer experience lead here in Google DeepMind, to take us through some of the latest and greatest. Let's give a huge round of applause to Paige.
Greetings. Hello, friends. Great to be here. Thank you all for coming out on a weeknight to come and talk about AI and about some of the cool things that hopefully y'all will begin using for your companies. My name is Paige. I get to work with a lot of the Googlers that we have in the audience, and I will careen through a couple of demos. If you have questions as I'm presenting things, please feel free to shout them out. But hopefully we'll have some time later to talk a little bit about the products and the features themselves. This also might be a review for a couple of familiar faces that I see in the audience. So I apologize, but hopefully we'll keep it a little bit interesting. I don't think it's a secret that Google has been a little bit busy. You know, on average, we've been releasing new features and new products about once every couple of days. And the latest of these are things like Gemini 2.5 Pro, which is still our latest flagship model for the near term. Gemini 2.5 Flash Image Preview, aka Nano Banana. How many folks have used Nano Banana? Seen it? Yes. Excellent. VO 3.1, which is the latest in our video generation series of models. You can also generate audio, background noises, background music. Gemma 3N, which we have some folks from the team here in the audience today as well, for our open model family. Genie 3, which is world models, and then our computer use API, which is also pretty cool to see in action. And we'll have a demo of that later on. So Gemini is designed to be natively multimodal. That means it can understand video and images and audio and text and code and all of the above all at once, but it can also output multiple modalities. So it can output text, it can output images, it can edit images, images and text interleaved, but it can also output audio, including native audio, including audio in multiple languages. And since I think it is much more cool to show rather than tell, and also because I hate slides and I'm not very good at making them, I am going to go ahead and show something called Gemini Live. If you haven't seen it before, this is a way to talk to Gemini the same way that you would talk to a human. Pass it things like images, frames from a video, or even share your screen. So on this tab, I have a blog post pulled up about Genie 3, which is our world model. It's actually a composition of models. So it's you can type in some text, you can give it an image, and it gives you the ability to walk around and kind of experience the thing that you just described. So you can see these arrow keys in the lower left. You can click through them, and each frame is dynamically generated. So there's no physics engine behind this. It's just kind of pixel by pixel creating these worlds where you feel immersed in a holodeck, which is pretty cool. But that's not what I wanted to show. So the thing that I wanted to show is actually just this table, and we're going to ask Gemini some questions about it. So I'll go back to this and share my screen. Hey there, Gemini. Can you tell me what you see on the screen?
The image shows a table comparing 4 different systems: Game Engine, Genie 2, VO, and Genie 3. It lists various characteristics for each, such as resolution, domain, control, interaction horizon, and interaction latency.
Does anybody speak a language other than English? What?
Swedish.
Swedish? Hey, Gemini, could you tell me the same thing but say it in Swedish, please?
Absolut. Tabellen visar en jämförelse mellan 4 olika system: Game Engine, Genie 2, VO och Genie 3. Den listar olika kännetecken för varje, som upplösning, domän, kontroll, interaktionshorisont och interaktionslatens. Vill du veta mer om någon specifik egenskap?
Excellent. So, doing pretty okay?
It was perfect.
Awesome. Excellent. So what happened behind the scenes is that you just saw something that took in both an audio stream as well as a video feed effectively at 1 frame per second or sampled. You could feed all of this into Gemini, so kind of this speech to text LLM understanding and text to speech pipeline, and this was all stitched together with one call to the API. And if you click Get Code, you see both the libraries that you would need to import in order to kind of make this magic happen. It gives you the model that you would need to call, kind of the way that you would need to configure it. And then also if you added things like tools, incorporated search, grounding as an example, it would give you kind of the one-liners that you would need in order to incorporate those back into your experiments. But this is supporting, hundreds of different languages, all with one API call, and pretty competitively priced. If you wanted to kind of stitch together this speech to text, LLM understanding, and text to speech, it ends up being about 1 penny per minute. And then, of course, it goes up and down based on how many tokens that you're sending over time. But strongly recommend taking a look at it. Another thing that we've been exploring at Google is the build feature in AI Studio. So build is a way for you to kind of describe an app that you would like to bring into the world, to deploy it on Google Cloud, and to share it with all of your friends. So the way that you access it is you just click build in the AI Studio interface. You can find this at ai.dev or ai.studio. And then you can just kind of describe the thing that you would like to create. And in the interest of time, and given that I will probably not type very well being on a stage, I'm just going to click this little microphone and I'm going to describe the thing that I would like to generate. So create an app that takes a picture of the user with the webcam. The app should then ask the user what their favorite animal is. And the app should then use Nano Banana to show the user cuddling their favorite animal on Google Campus. And there should be many bananas in the image. Cool. And hopefully this works. I'm not sure if it was, yeah, there we go. So that more or less looks correct. I'm going to go ahead and click build. And then you can see kind of this step-by-step thinking trace exposed on the left. This is just Gemini 2.5 Pro breaking down everything that's required to build the app. It knows that Nano Banana is the fun name for Gemini 2.5 Flash image. You can toggle between some of these different recommendations for the app. And then as it builds this plan, it also starts writing code. So right now you can see some TypeScript files being created. I didn't specify a specific framework, but it's using React to create the app. It's going through the process of crafting all of the prompts for the different models that it needs to use to build the app. And it's also putting it into this really nice directory structure. You can also see a button off to the right where you can save to GitHub, either to a public or a private repo. And if you wanted to, you could also add files, so things like PDFs or text files or images, if you wanted to have a specific UI design. But it looks like something has been created, so let's go ahead and allow. And it's a cuddle generator. That sounds scary a little bit, but let's try to. Okay, cool. So this is me. Maybe do this so it doesn't get distracted by my glasses. And then what is somebody's favorite animal? And make it interesting. I love fennec foxes, but what? Zebra? Zebra. Okay, I want to see how I would cuddle a zebra. So let's see how the AI is adding extra bananas for you. So let's see how well this works. I also wonder where on Google Campus it would show me. Oh, this is like the tiniest zebra. It's like a baby zebra. You can see his little leg out at the back, but bananas all over the place. But that does look like me. It does look like I'm wearing my same jacket, same like green hoodie situation. And clearly everybody wants to cuddle zebras on a lawn. And so I'm going to go ahead and deploy this. I'll select a cloud project, click deploy app. And if you go to the URL that gets generated, you should be able to test this out, try it out yourself, and rack up my GCP bill, which Logan has promised me I can expense. So hopefully that's actually the case. But behind the scenes, this is provisioning logging, storage. It's hiding all of the API keys. It's also putting this on Cloud Run so I can scale out as this goes viral, as it will of course do. And then also I can see all of the billing and logs associated if I click on the project. So you can see the different metrics if people start using the app, the logs that are created as the app gets deployed, any errors or any SLO or networking concerns. And then also one other thing that I quite like about this redesign of the AI Studio build interface is that if you click this little draw widget down here at the bottom where it says annotate app, you can also just kind of circle things arbitrarily, add comments, and then incorporate that back into the design. So the same as you would have a redlining process with the designer, all of this is put back into the app itself. One last thing, and then I will let, because I assume like we want to, everybody would like to move along with the evening. Another thing that we've just recently released is the computer use API. This gives you the ability to sort of describe in natural language a task that you would like for Gemini to be able to accomplish within the browser or by navigating through different applications. And one, something as an example would be find me a pair of pink hiking boots, maybe make it specific. So pink Merrill hiking boots that would be good for a Seattle hiking trip and would arrive before December 8th. I live in San Francisco, right? And maybe to make it extra spicy, that are on sale, and that would be good for a Seattle trip. So I'm going to click run. And this is gemini.browserbase.com if you want to go test it out yourself. Our computer use API documentation is also available on ai.google.dev. You can see the tool calls getting created off to the left. So this opens up a web browser. It shows the kind of reasoning traces similar to when we were building the app. It figures out what it would need to search for. It figures out also kind of reasoning of what today might be and what the shipping timelines might need to be. It looks like it is sort of deciding to scroll the document. And then each step kind of progresses along. There are a limited number of actions that the model can take. So as an example, so page is mostly blank. I need to search bar for pink hiking boots. It's looking for some examples at the moment. While this is cooking, I'm going to go over to the computer use API documentation. You can see all of the kind of actions that the model can take. So I'm going to scroll down to this table, lots and lots of code samples, but you can see that it can open web browsers, wait, go back, go forward, search, navigate, etc. It can also click and hold, which means that sometimes it can get past the robotics checks on websites, which is quite cool. It looks like it's still figuring out how to get to the Merrill website. Excellent. And kind of navigating through. But I encourage you to kind of test it out, play with the computer use API, and tell us what you think along the way. So strong recommendation to explore these kind of these kind of more agentic behaviors with the Gemini models. I know that the models themselves are really compelling, but the models are much, much better when you incorporate them as part of a system. And it's been really, really cool to kind of see what these things can do. It's selected the pink. I'm not sure if you can see the selection process just because everything is highlighted. But it is finding pink shoes that are on sale and is navigated to kind of those areas on the website. Yep, awesome. So thank you so much to everybody on the team who's working hard to bring all of these things to life. And like I said, can't wait to see what you all build. Thank you.
Huge thank you to Paige. Let's give one more big round of applause for walking us through all that. Always love seeing some live page demos, and it's true, she does not like slides at all. This is all live. You're seeing it live. It's really cool. Up next, I'm delighted to introduce Francis Ma, Senior Director at Google for Developers, to talk about our stack. Big round of applause.
Thank you. All right, thanks, Matt. Wow, I am so excited to be here. As Matt mentioned, I'm Francis, and I work with the Google for Developers team, and we run programs like Google. Oh, yes, hit the mic. I think you can hear me through this too. We run programs like the Google Developer Groups, as well as Startup Accelerators. Now, first off, I want to congratulate all of you as founders and entrepreneurs in taking this bold step, starting a company and building a startup. Prior to Google, I was also a founder. And now, while today I have a pretty different role as a product leader at Google, I still very much have a deep heart for entrepreneurs and builders out there. And in particular, I understand how hard it is to be a founder. You have to worry about building products, managing your team, the customers, investors, and many more. And especially now with AI, you also have this new technology, which is amazing. I'm guessing many of you who are building companies nowadays are really enabled by this. But at the same time, it's also evolving very quickly. And that's another thing to worry about. And we at Google recognize that. And our goal is to make AI helpful for everybody, including working with developers and entrepreneurs and builders. And with that, our goal is to ultimately be able to help make the world a better place with AI. And that's why we're also bringing the technologies to enable builders like yourselves so that we can collectively innovate, not just with Google, but also through all of you, and make the world a better place. Now, at Google, we've been building AI for quite some time, well over a decade. From the early days of Google Translate to Magic Eraser in Photos, to Smart Reply in Gmail, AI Overview, and many, many more. In fact, we've been working extremely hard and innovating across the entire stack. From foundation models to AI frameworks that help you integrate and build AI into your apps and systems, to developer tools, to infrastructure like TPUs and cloud, and of course, the deployment targets to reach your users, whether it's mobile or on the browser. And we recognize that for you as founders, there's a lot to worry about, as I mentioned before, right? And that's why we're here to continue to partner with you. And also, we believe that it is extremely important that you bet on a platform and a partner that can grow and evolve with you. And that's why we're here today, to partner with all of you to make AI more helpful together and to make the world a better place. Thank you. And with that, I'd like to welcome Tris.
Thank you very much. Hi, everybody. I'm going to move this up. That's right. I'm here to talk to you guys. Well, first of all, thank you all for being here. It's great to see so many familiar faces. Hello again. Thanks for coming. Matt, thanks for having us. I'm here to talk a little bit more about everybody's favorite topic, which is, of course, research. Yes, yeah. I work on a lot of the cool things that you've heard about tonight, and I've worked on a lot of really fun things over my career at Google and beyond. Paige and I go way back. We work together on TensorFlow. Francis and I go way back. We used to be on the same team working on developer things. And now I get to stop worrying about making useful stuff and start doing all the research things. So I'm going to talk a little bit about both useful things and research things, and how finally I think those two worlds are meeting really nicely, and hopefully that powers what you're able to do. At DeepMind, we have a really ambitious mission to build AI responsibly to benefit humanity. The first mission statement of DeepMind was to solve intelligence, and then use that to solve everything else. And that's still what drives a lot of the research and the work that we do at DeepMind today. And I'm here to help build the part where we use it to solve everything else. So I'm going to talk a little bit about both sides of that equation. You've already heard a bit about Gemini 2.5. I hope all of you are trying out Gemini 2.5. Amazing performance in many ways. One of the things that I think is really interesting about Gemini 2.5 Pro and Flash is a focus on product specifics, on speed, on adaptability. I think it's a real change in the way that Google has approached developer markets in supporting founders, and I hope you feel it. We're taking feedback all the time, so please don't hesitate. Just at Paige on Twitter. It's going to be perfect. You know, I really want to double down on this one particular portion, which is I love that we're targeting different performance profiles, but especially different speeds. One of the things that's underrated by a lot of builders, in my opinion, is that speed is the most important factor for why people love your product. And it's often really hard to feel that as a user. You're like, hey, I use this thing, it's a little bit slow, but why do you go back? Why do you use it more? And study after study shows that speed is what really is the killer app. And so I very much recommend you move towards the right side of this because 1, it's cheaper, 2, it's faster, and 3, 2.5 Flash Lite is better than any Frontier model was even 8 months ago, which is pretty incredible. 8 months ago, you're like, oh no, I only can use the best. Now you can use that same best, but at like 1,000 tokens a second and basically almost free. It's kind of unbelievable. One of the coolest things is that when Paige and I started working together, you know, we worked on AI, but we really put it behind the scenes. I worked on ads, everybody's favorite Google product, for many years, and where I did all the AI things to make your ads hopefully fit you better, be more personalized, understand you better, be less creepy, not follow you around the internet as much, use less data, lots of other things, adhere to your preferences. But really, you never felt like you were interacting with AI. And now we're taking that next step. And that's what I love seeing about so many founders here, is that you're trying to take AI and put it in the center of the user experience, in the center of the human experience. And that's all part of this transition that we're in the middle of, from human-computer interaction to human-computer collaboration. And so thanks for driving that forward. So why does research really matter? I will take one giant step back. You know, why do we do AI? And what is it for? I think it's to improve the human condition in many ways. Looking at innovations like AlphaFold, working on bioavailability for models, working on therapeutic models, spin-outs out of DeepMind like isomorphic labs for new drug discovery. These sorts of things, they're what AI should be for in a lot of ways. And in some ways, I know many of you here are building some of that future, but I challenge you to think a little bit less about how do I keep up with the hype train and a little bit more about how can I do that next thing, that next step for the users that I care about, for the group that I come from. AlphaZero, similar. You know, we don't talk about a lot of the kinds of things that were in the previous generation, but they're foundational to the way that we believe products should be built. How do you take what seems to be a very difficult but well-sealed problem, apply reinforcement learning techniques to do something and achieve superhuman intelligence? We're trying to do that in so many fields now. And I think that it's not just about the narrow field, but how we tie that together in systems that benefit broadly. We love to talk about AGI, and this is just a little bit of self-promotion right here. I very much recommend, this is a paper that I wrote with a few of the co-founders of our Path to AGI research team, and Shane Legg, who actually is the guy who invented the term AGI, and he's a co-founder of DeepMind. The idea is, between specific and general AI, how do you understand and typify that? What does it mean to reach AGI, for example? What does it mean to reach ASI? What level of ability do we expect of that? And some of the ways that we measure that, they're very relevant as well. Oh, do you want to hear? I saw you wanted to take a picture. Go ahead. Go ahead. If somebody else reads the paper, they send me a royalty. That's not true. I wish. That would be great. You know, we think a lot about benchmarks. I mean, how many people here work on benchmarks? Are there any startups here that are about benchmarks? Yeah, we've got one at least. They're actually some of my favorite companies. Some of my favorite companies that are in the nascent stage right now are really about measuring AI and making it better. And when you think about it in a deeper sense, AI still has so many fundamental gaps versus the way that humans look at the world. So we're trying to take inspiration from a lot of classical cognitive tests, for example. This on the left is a traditional dementia test. As people have more advanced dementia, they become less and less able to draw a reasonable clock, right? So you're normal, you can draw a reasonable clock. And on the right, you see a Gemini model trying to draw a clock at a specific time, which if I'm reading it correctly, it says 9:10 a.m. And now it's been a long time since I've had to read an analog clock, but that absolutely is nowhere near 9:10 a.m. And also, if you look at the numbers, they're not exactly right. Like you don't write 4 with 4 eyes, for example. So just models don't have a lot of the foundational reasoning or understanding of the world that we do. Even the best, the most frontier models, they're missing fundamental things about the human experience. How is it that we bring research to reality for those fields? All right, now I'm going to talk about some cool stuff. Image editing, everybody talked about Nano Banana. I have been in this field since the beginning. I was the first PM on Imagine, the generative image models. I even named it Imagine. You can also call it Imagen if you want. It's a two-sided name. And this is Nicole, who was the first PM on Party, which was another model that we launched at the time. Nano Banana, I mean, when I look at that field, I mean, that's not that long ago, guys. It's not that long ago where I used to put up a picture of a corgi in a sushi house and people were like, whoa, that's unbelievable. And I'm like, yeah, whatever, that doesn't mean anything. But what can Nano Banana actually do? It can combine pictures in ways that really just make sense to people. The conversationality of research models coming together with real world use cases. That's what really excites me about this, right? It's not just that we build a model, it's that we take something that's a fundamental gap that humans can't do very well, computers definitely couldn't do, right? And we put them together in a way that fundamentally enhances the human experience and gives new capabilities to humanity, which, by the way, is my job mission. Paige mentioned Genie 3. This, if you haven't seen the videos, you should go watch the videos, because it is, some people say feel the AGI. This is definitely the moment that I most felt the AGI in the last few years. It is crazy to play with, and we're working on how to get it in your hands so you guys can all have this experience. It's just bonkers to come up with some crazy idea and then be able to live it, to like explore it in a world. And then something very near and dear to my heart, the GEMMA program, which is our open models program, which I am also a co-founder of. We have a ton of really cool GEMMA models. One thing that is a sort of side pitch here is that I think open models, the open ecosystem, is a really important accelerant for innovation. And I hope all of you are taking advantage of everything that you can find in the open ecosystem. There are so many resources. There are notebooks, there are tools, there's pieces of infrastructure. There's things that can run on your phone, that can run on your laptop, that you can scale, that you can put on specialized hardware. And I absolutely love that. And we're trying to bring that to life in the GEMMA family. There are so many more models than this. When Paige says that we're building things fast, we are cooking in GEMMA. My mission is to have us launch something cool every week. MedGemma is like the first actual medical model that we've released from Google that everybody can use, right? And we're continuing that with that team. It's state-of-the-art medical developer and research focused models that you can use to build the future of medical intelligence for free, right? Like, it's free for commercial use. There's no restrictions on how you would roll it out commercially. We just ask you don't do things that are terrible for humanity with it. That's pretty much it. And I really love that. Just in general, how is it that we power the open community? So please go try out GEMMA in various ways and send feedback. Don't at me at Twitter, but you can email me. I think that the future of a lot of intelligence is in your hand. You don't want, GPT-9 on your phone. You actually want like an AI that's about you. Right? What's the AI that's about you? What's the AI for developers that's about the developer, right? And I think that's a revolution that's starting today and will continue in your hand, on your laptop, in your phone, and we'll understand. I mean, we're at the beginning of so many areas of AI that as we think about what personal intelligence means, how is it that frontier models interact with each other? How is it that an intelligence that's about you interacts with an intelligence that's owned by a developer, right? Those are really challenging questions for the way that we build, and I think that we're right at the beginning, and that's why it's the most exciting time to be building things in this world. I also love robotics. This is one of my favorite areas to talk about because it isn't about the type of things that most people think robots are about. You know, they see, I don't know, you know, the figure robot walking out on the stage or something along those lines. But fundamentally, intelligence in the physical sphere is so limited right now. There is so much progress left to be made in this. When I throw a ball at Paige, she will probably catch it. When she throws a ball at me, probably hit me in the face. But most people just have a native understanding of the physical world that really fundamentally models don't have, despite all the video training, et cetera. And I really think Gemini Robotics 1.5 is the first time that I've seen a real world model where robots genuinely understand facts about the world in an adaptable and generalized way. Really cool research. And you can see some of the ways that that works now. You know, how is it that you pick up a particular color of an item? How do you organize things? And the models are not trained specifically to understand your notebook or how to move a mouse. They learn by observation in a lot of the same ways that you and I do. And so it's very, very neat research. And then finally, Paige did a demo of computer use. I actually think that this is really fascinating. Another area where computers are not very good at understanding the physical world, but ironically, they're also not very good at understanding how to use computers or what computers can do. And really, we are making such strides in that by understanding how humans use computers and what can be made more efficient. This is key to unlocking a lot of the things that are blocking the agentic future. You might remember 2024 was the year of agents. It's now almost the end of 2025, and you probably haven't had an agent order you dinner or, you know, book your trip to Hawaii or get your car repair appointment scheduled or something along those lines. And mostly that's not because the technology can't do it, it's because there's little gaps in the middle that are very hard to actuate and they're not plumbed through for some API or some tool use or something along those lines. And I actually think that actuation in computer use will solve a lot of that. All right, I've rambled on for way more time than I should. So I'm just gonna say thank you guys and really look forward to the pitches from each of you, hopefully.
Oh, yeah. I have a, before we lose, I guess Trish will be on the panel, but does anyone have one? Yeah.
So the question is just a statement. So you talked about Gemma, and you already used it in the web. So there is a big issue of soldiers sharing sensitive data about like their mental health, for example, in Ukraine. And they sometimes do not want to speak with like specialists, and they want to keep it like in secret. So we just created a simple like web page, which is not sending data anywhere, and we're just using the Gemma. So we showed it to the Ministry of Cybersecurity in Ukraine, and he's like trying to pass it. So it's just like 1 megabyte of a website.
Amazing.
And that is like super good because it can communicate even in Ukrainian and some other languages.
Yeah, incredible. Thank you for sharing. I mean, that to me is, I like, seriously, thank you. It's something that we actually have been working with the Ukrainian government as well. And we just recently launched Mame LM with the Ukrainian government, the world's best Ukrainian LM based on Gemma as well. Something that is exactly the kind of thing that I mean, you know, that progress isn't measured in giant leaps, it's measured in small steps that hopefully also have giant leaps sometimes in the middle. But, you know, I think the progress itself generally comes from the small stuff. So really love that. Another thing that I didn't mention, actually very cool for this program, just Matt probably is like, Tris, why didn't you mention this? An alumni of this program, just this week, over the weekend, they launched an actual rocket into space with a satellite that has H100s on it, and they are actually running Gemma in space as we speak right now, which is incredible. It is the first time that you have a capable LLM running in space, which is pretty ridiculous, actually. And we didn't even know. They just were like, hey, by the way, we're running a Gemma in space. You guys interested in that? I was like, yes. So pretty cool stuff. Yeah, absolutely. Accelerator along. So some of you guys should launch Gemma.
Gemma in space and beyond. Cool. One more big, huge round of applause to Paige and Chris. You're going to be hearing more from him in 1 second. What we do want to, we did talk about this night is about you, the audience. And so we love moments to feature what you guys are building. So we're going to hear 2 quick startup intros before we do all the other pitches to hear what they're building. And then they'll actually join us on the panel with Francis and Tris. So first up, I am delighted to welcome up, let's give a big round of applause to Aperture Data. Come on up.
So this is my cheat code, right? More than 60 seconds. Well, hi everyone. I'm Vishaka Gupta, co-founder and CEO of Aperture Data, and we are building the memory infrastructure for AI. Everywhere you turn, the world is looking agentic, especially if you drive on 101 to San Francisco. Just look at the billboards. But agents without the right memory, they're just stateless, slow, brittle, and let's just say we are dealing with shallow intelligence today. And in order to go from that to deep intelligence, we have to think, how do humans do that? There is processing, and then there is memory. And memory is what differentiates our experiences, the connections we make. And our brain is not tabular, it's not text-based. We actually think in multimodal terms. So what we need for agents to become deeply intelligent is the ability to have the memory that allows you to do recall, knowledge, or context, and multimodality. And that's what we can build on the product that we offer, Aperture DB. And what that gives at an enterprise scale is defragmented, high performance, and secure memory, which can then give us highly intelligent agents to do more complex jobs for us. Our call to action, before I go on the panel, is we are raising a round, so help us close it. And we are also looking for go-to-market partners. We are already Google partners and definitely looking forward to growing that partnership. Thank you so much.
Yeah. We'll have one more, and then we'll get to hear from the panel. So come on up, Max from Happyverse and a Zoogler.
Yay. Hello, everyone. Exciting to be here on campus. I actually worked at this building, and I left Google exactly a year ago to build Happyverse. Thank you. Lots of familiar faces. So what we are doing at Happyverse, we think that text and voice agents, they have 2 problems. First of all, they're quite boring. And second, they're not as authentic and not as cool and enthusiastic as like Paige or Tris or Matt or other speakers that we saw today on the panel, right? So the way we solve this problem, we are building realistic real-time video avatars. We call them Happyverse Confidants that can actually help any knowledge worker scale themselves. You can create your digital twin in less than 5 minutes on our platform, and you can deploy it on your website, in your mobile app, or share it on social media, and people can learn from you. Or you can even screen candidates. So for example, who in this room is raising funding or is about to start fundraising? Can you raise your hand? Okay, so quite a lot of people. So we partnered with our investor, Amrit Rao from Village Global, and created his avatar. And now anybody can practice your pitch delivery with this avatar in real time and get immediate feedback. And you can also win $10,000 cash prize if you successfully pitch to Amrit and come to our conference on November 15th in San Francisco. We're going to be hosting AGI Interface Summit, and I would love to see all of you there. Thank you so much. See you.
I just love it. So cool. Okay, so we are going to hear from a few more startups after this, but I'm thrilled that we have an amazing panel. You've heard from each of them. Come on up, Francis, Max, Vishanka, and Tris. And you can, if you sit here, I'll be on the end. If you sit kind of near where you are, then everyone can know. You'll have a subtitle under you. And we'll pass the mics around here. Yeah, perfect. All right.
So tall, I always get the projector.
Oh, yeah, you can scoot forward if you need. Great.
It's a halo.
Well, y'all, this is so fun getting to be with you all. We got to hear from each of them, so we know kind of the intros, of course, but I want to hear, we're talking about AI and the product space, how you build great products, particularly in this moment. All of you are building or PMs, and I want to talk a little bit, go a little deeper on those that are building products. How do we think about this moment? So maybe let's talk right now and then in the future. Right now, what gets you really excited about the moment in AI products? What's being built? What do you see coming in the next 12, 18 months that you think will just help level up product management? And Francis, you want to kick us off and then we'll go down? Yeah.
Yeah. Oh. Yes, definitely. A lot of things to be excited about. I would say at this moment, more for me as on a personal level, I've been really gotten into AI music composing. So I've never studied music, but now it's enabled me to create things, having fun time with the kids and all that. So that, I think just a general trend of really democratizing new skills, right? And we've looked at a variety of fields, and that for me, I think it's just going to open up, a whole lot of different things. So I'd say right now that's the most exciting. In 10 to 12 months or a little bit further out, I think it's about the convergence of technologies around AI. Right, like earlier on, we talked about robotics and what we can do with the AI piece, but then there are other emerging technologies like, the capacity of battery, the efficiency of energy creation. Like, how do these things come together to then really enable, the next innovation? So I think the convergence of technologies is personally for me really exciting as well.
Francis, can we hear any of your music? That's the question. Maybe at the end.
Maybe another
your
time.
latest
Yeah.
AI music. Okay, Max, let's hear from you now and in the future.
Absolutely. Actually, I'm also a big fan of music. I used to be a rapper in my prior life.
All right, let's hear it,
and,
Max. Come on.
I'll perform some rap at our conference November 15th in San Francisco. But also, I never tried any music tools. I don't know if Gemini has some Gemma for music or something. Oh.
Actually, we're not associated with it from the Gemma brand, but we have a Lyria real-time OS.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, Lyria.
Fantastic. Yeah, so I'm excited about two things, right? First of all, multimodal AI and everything that Google's team is doing is incredible. It's helping us a lot on all layers, right? Like video layer, voice layer. But as a former PM who worked in infrastructure, I'm actually also excited, and I agree with Matt that this is the time to build because Google and other big companies are investing hundreds of billions of dollars into infrastructure. And yes, like mostly it's going to be used by large labs, but there's going to be enough for all of us. And who knows, maybe there's going to be some market correction or some adjustment, and there would be lots of accelerators available for all of us to build on, right? So
you heard the prediction here.
But also, as Therese mentioned, there's going to be AI on the phone, on device, and that's something that we are also very excited about to provide to our users the opportunity to run those video agents on their local device. Thank you.
And that's someone that worked on TPUs, right? So you're hearing it directly. Pretty great. Yeah, share a little more.
Yes. So in the short term, it was exciting time, when my daughter was born. I was learning about neural networks. And, it was a way to think about, how would you map it in compute? So in the near term now, we are at a stage where memory, how do you map it in software? So, actually getting serious about production scale deployments of these, we've done a lot of research, and, there is a whole range of companies that are still trying to catch up on what it means, that are especially outside the valley. So, bringing them along and, helping them get through that, that's like more of the near-term aspect. But in the 12 to 18 months stuff that you said, I really hope we get into the stage of embodied AI where the robot loads my dishwasher so I can go back to coding.
Not the other way around. Right?
Why would you take away creative and exciting things from us to make us like, all that's left as well. Now it's coding and generating and doing shopping, as we saw with Paige's demo. Yeah. And so all I got to do is like, hang clothes and do the dishes. So I want that reversed, really,
have the robots really work for us.
Yeah, exactly. Do the boring stuff so we can do the interesting stuff finally, and energy efficiency. I'm really hoping that takes center stage at some point.
Great.
Well, you just stay tuned on energy efficiency. We got some really cool stuff coming, including large prizes for people that care about it.
Okay, so I'm in the list now.
Yeah, you're on the list. You're on the well, maybe. I mean, it depends on how energy efficient you made it. So the thing that really excites me is all of you, is all of the people that are building. Some of us here in this room have been working on AI things for a long time. For me, I got my first AI job was in 2001, which dates me a bit. But I really believed from that moment that this was going to revolutionize the way that we live and use computers and what it means to learn and be. And actually, I don't think most of the really amazing stuff is actually coming out of the big labs right now. Right? Like, I think the amazing stuff is coming out of you guys.
Wow.
I think it's coming out of the builders in the ecosystem. Like, everybody since time immemorial, in every large business technology revolution, the big guys always think they're going to take all the value, right? But there's always the major value is from new entrants, right?
Here.
Yeah.
Can we give a big round of applause to that?
I know that sounds like a self-defeating idea when I work at Google, but actually I think it's good for the ecosystem. I think it's good for the world, right? So I think that the gains to be had from people that build cool new AI stuff never been higher in the market. This has more potential to change what's possible than anything, and I hope you go build it.
Wow. Let's give fantastic kickoff. Let's give a round of applause to those cool answers. I think, Tris, you teed up a little bit of this, so let's go here and all the way back. I think let's talk a little bit about scale. I think we can now hit a level of scale with 2 people working on a product for 4 weeks that we could have never touched before, right? And so, I mean, so many founders are now deciding, I'm not even going to go raise venture capital. I'm going to bootstrap, go to $100 million in ARR, and just grow. And talk to me about, what do you see as different right now with scale, and maybe particularly coming from the Google landscape, but also from early stage founders?
Oh, yeah. Oh, I love this. Look, I think there's something different about this era of technology. We build research models at the frontier. I mean, stay tuned. And we are done with them. And then like the next 2 days later, we give them to you guys. Like, full stop, right? The pipeline from like frontier research, new things that were completely impossible a week before, to your door, to your keyboard, has never been shorter.
Wow.
And those things are designed to scale to global scale, to make it so that you can build stuff, which is really awesome. I don't think that has ever been like that before. I'm actually a huge believer in building sustainable businesses from the start. I think you should start with customers. You should start with users. You should understand that value from day zero. Venture capital funding is great, and sometimes it's really needed to like find your market, et cetera. But I think sometimes people they're over focused on, how do I get the funding raised, because that'll give me the notoriety or whatever it is, right? It's almost more marketing in a lot of ways. Getting much more focused on, how is it that I get to scale of people that should care about my business, I think is a really good focus point for a lot of companies.
Yeah.
So when I hear scale, one aspect is like, well, the database scale, right? Like, we're living in the infrastructure world. So that we were trained for very well, coming out of Intel, scale to billions, low latency in milliseconds, microseconds. And that's something that we were able to build into our product, and it reflects. But then, as a founder, there's this other scale on how do we grow fast. I mean, there are lots of hopes and dreams and misconceptions around how to build, how to deploy these things in production. And that's where scaling to more people, especially on the infrastructure side, like, the models are coming out really fast, but that means people are constantly stuck in the loop of like, should I use this one or the next one or the next one, without really realizing, well, none of that's going to matter if you do not bring the right data to them and establish those connections. And so for us, that's like, and that's where you go into the legacy silos, and solving that is that's really the scale problem that literally keeps me awake. And this is where I so we are Google partners, and like going through these partnership channels is now like my, okay, that's my go-to to the go-to market.
Yeah. That's a
For
good way to
scale.
scale. I love that. Max.
Yeah, so a couple of thoughts, and I'll give an example from real life building a company. When we were launching our beta of our platform to create realistic video avatars, we were thinking like, okay, how many users will we have at any given point in time on July 31st or whenever we launched, which countries we're going to serve, and how to scale up quickly from like whatever 0 users to maybe 1,000, right? But what we didn't think about is how to also scale down, because if your product is kind of spiky, you also need to think like, okay, how you do not over provision a bunch of GPUs or TPUs so that you end up with very big GCP bills. And or even if you have free credits, right? Like as some people in this room have, still you want to be very, frugal. That's like one thing: scale up and scale down, and finding this like balance between your price and like flexibility of the infrastructure that you are using is very important. The other thing, I have a bit of a contrarian view on like scaling in terms of like 2 people or like sole entrepreneur building a unicorn. I do not believe in that vision. I don't think it's actually a happy vision. At Happyverse, we think a lot about happiness, right? Like, and what brings people happiness is like relationships. It's like sharing your success, right? Like with your teammates. And even if you're so smart that you created like a bunch of agents that build something for you, like who are you going to share it with, and who is going to buy your product? If everyone starts building just their own company, they will build a bunch of tools for themselves, right? So hopefully
I'm hearing some clapping to that.
Yeah, hopefully we'll be in a world where, yes, maybe not every company needs 200,000 people as Google, but also like 1 or 2 is maybe not enough. You still need like a team of, I don't know, a few dozen. Exactly. Yeah, thank you.
So you're not waiting for that $1 billion solo founder vision. Yeah, Francis.
Yeah, no, I'm really excited to hear. I agree with a lot of what's said, and I'm building on that. We talked about scaling the research, the technology, scaling as a company in terms of automating, scaling the infrastructure. But I think there's also one element that I've been thinking a lot about is, how do we scale on the consumption for our customers and really create that pull for the market? Like earlier on, you saw the demo of the automated browser, right? And that's the current state of the art. Like imagine where that could be. So a question that throws my mind is like, as product creators, how do we help our customers scale their consumption so that we can continue to really create this ecosystem and economy together? So that's building on what was said there.
Love that. One more, and then maybe we can take just a few questions from the audience. We're talking about product in AI. Maybe talk a little bit about, as a product manager, what is different right now? What are some of the superpowers that you now have that you didn't have? Is there a future for product managers? Are they all going to go away? Or are they going to be even better than ever? Are they going to be more than ever? Are they all going to be agents? What is going on? Tell us more about the latest in product management.
No, absolutely. Having been a PM for some time, I feel like we're at a very interesting moment where and much like many professions, I think, it's completely being transformed. I think for me personally and seeing my team, the biggest thing is really around the cross-functional capabilities that have been unlocked, right? Like as a PM now, you can quickly build a prototype, right? Not just having to write a doc. You can quickly do research. You can quickly validate. You can quickly do a lot of different things. And so I think there's a whole evolution to redefining the role of a PM and what does that mean in the future. So for me, that is very exciting and just looking to discover that.
Love that.
Yeah, for me, as a CEO, it's great to be able to do multiple jobs or be dangerous in like different areas, right? Because I can just throw a bunch of code to Gemini and tell it, okay, explain to me what's going on, right? Like, well, what's going on with this part of our stack, that part of our stack. This is useful. At the same time, though, as I said before, I don't believe in the future where it's just a single person building the whole company, because you still need domain experts. And for example, I will never be as good of a designer as like our in-house designer. She spent like 10 years like building like different products. And so similarly to Paige, she mentioned she doesn't like doing slides. I also don't like doing slides, and AI is okay at this, but not really, right? And you still want those fundamental skills, design skills, coding skills or communication skills if you're in the sales job. But the good news is that with AI, you can really scale yourself, especially with multimodal AI like video avatars. So thank you.
Love it.
I think it's been a lot about coming from infrastructure where it was, I mean, writing shell script is like, it's a cool thing, except you realize nobody likes to do that when you come into the outside world. And so the big shift for me has been understanding that user experience is really what matters in the end. You could have something I mean, of course, there's the reliability and all that aspect behind the scenes, but focusing on user experience, iterating together with the users, that community aspect, it's become so important that prioritizing that and making sure you talk to the users. It's something that it's been a learning experience, and it's been a journey to go from the research mode where I could still quietly use VI and not go to cursor was acceptable. But to come to this world where everything changes so fast, and you have to be aware constantly and constantly be doing research on these topics, like how are people building this, what's the difference, and still being aware of hallucinations when you need to be, and making sure you understand. There's a lot going on. I'm guessing this generation is not going to suffer from Alzheimer's. It's too much brain exercise.
Constant, yeah.
All right, I'm going to take it in a slightly different direction. I have a hot take that I think is something everybody should have.
Can't wait.
Which is, the death of the engineer, similarly the death of the product manager. Now, I already dated myself a little bit with my first AI job in 2001. But I've lived through a whole bunch of iterations of we're not going to need engineers anymore, right? Let me count them, right? Oh, Java, you don't even need to understand memory management. What are we even going to do with all these engineers? Oh, it's the web. My son can make a web page in Adobe Dreamweaver. Who's going to need engineers for that? Oh, this interpreted language. What is that? It's just a shell script. We're not going to need engineers for that, are we? Right? Oh, apps. Well, there's this framework. This framework's going to let anybody build an app. Who needs engineers for that? And the last round of all engineers are going to be useless was actually AGI, right? There were thousands and thousands of generally intelligent, non-artificial people that lived in India and China that were 10,000 times cheaper than you and were just as good at everything as the engineers were in all of the companies in the West. And there's huge offshoring push. And they all said, well, I guess that's the end of the engineer, isn't it? But guess what? It wasn't. And those were general intelligence, right? Are those engineers still working on cool software things? Yes, they are. There are many Chinese and Indian engineers and engineers around the world that we've facilitated. But it didn't make us do less engineering. The intervening 10 years since then, or 15 years, have been the best years to be an engineer ever, by a lot. Right? Because we just find more and more leveraged things to do. And that's my belief about this co-evolution. We are co-evolving with technology. You wouldn't last the night without any clothes out in the parking lot or something like that. You'd be, maybe freeze to death or something. We're co-evolved with clothing. And we're going to co-evolve. We're going to continue to co-evolve with technology. And we're going to find new things that we do. And it's really incumbent on us, everybody here, to figure out what that path forward is.
I love it. It's a good hot take. Let's take maybe 2 questions from the audience for the panel. You can throw it out, and then, here, go ahead. Introduce yourself.
Yeah, hi, I'm Hemant. I'm a GD in Web and Payments, and I'm running AI Labs at PayPal, which is a pretty new team. I have a 2-parter question here. I want to make sure I get the name. I pronounce the name right. Marvin Minsky, right? I think he made a prediction saying that in 1970s that in few years we will have generalized AI. Everything's going to be awesome. But we are here today, and I think he also had won the one of the top notch prizes for computer science. And great respect for that individual. But we make predictions, and sometimes it fails. And as I said, maybe going back to the typewriter era, and when computer came, people said, "Oh, everybody will be replaced," and this cycle keeps repeating, right? And do you think AI is a bubble?
Do I think of AI as a bubble? Is that the question?
Yeah.
So I think bubble can mean a lot of things. One, about the two things, like when computers came to light, they're like, oh, there's going to be no more accountants. More accountants per capita now than there ever have been, because they don't just do tabulation anymore. It's a very good example that I also like. Around AGI, obviously I work on AGI stuff, so I have a very biased view on this. But like, if I'd asked you 5 years ago, I said, hey, I have a computer that can pass the Turing test. Would that be AGI? You'd be like, well, yeah, I mean, obviously, that's the test. That's the test. Now, a model that you can run on your phone can easily pass the Turing test, right? And we're all go, that thing's dumb, right? So we move the goalposts for all these kinds of things. Are we in a bubble? There are many ways in which we are in a bubble, and there are many ways in which we are not. Are we making massive progress? Yes. Do I think that the capitalizations that I see for these exceptionally large companies, not even startups, exceptionally large private companies, do I wonder how we're possibly going to pay that off? Like how that possibly becomes a profitable venture? Yes, I very much wonder that. Just as like a part-time finance nerd.
Anyone else?
Yeah, so two things that I wanted to mention. First of all, Marvin Minsky, one of the AI legends, one of our angel investors in our portfolio, she took classes from Marvin at MIT, and she first learned about AGI from him, and now she created a fund called AGI Inc. Fund or something. So she's a big believer, and she also met Ilya Sutskever 10 years ago, who was at OpenAI back then. He told her, stop everything, just invest in AGI. But then she was like, what exactly should I invest in, right? Because this wasn't very clear, infrastructure layer, etc. So, but I personally think that AGI is probably already here. It's just not evenly distributed. That's kind of common phrase in Silicon Valley you may have heard of, right? And like Tris was saying about agents, that most of the time they're blocked by the fact that not all systems are interconnected, or you don't actually have access to a given system. What if you give all the API keys, everything, open all the gates to models, right? Like they can do pretty powerful things. However, what does it mean? Does it mean that everyone will lose their job? Probably not. Like people will still figure out what to do, right? Like we probably don't want to be in a situation at this movie Wall-E, if you remember, right? Like where people were sitting on their chairs, like doing nothing, just watching some dopamine addictive video loops like TikTok. That's not the future we want. Is it a bubble, to your point? Like when I wear my finance hat and I used to be like investment banker and whatnot, I feel like it's a bit of a bubble. Like, is NVIDIA really $5 trillion company? Like, is all this capex justified? I don't know, but I see opportunities, right? Like a crisis is always kind of two-sided thing. It's an opportunity to build something using, even if it's an overbuilt infrastructure, it's going to benefit all of us because we're going to just use it in different ways. Exactly.
Mm-hmm. Let's take one more. Yeah, right over, or two more. Great. You can introduce yourself. Yeah.
Hi, I'm Lena Kanappan. I'm in the process of incubating a company in the life sciences space. I'm a big fan of AlphaFold and a lot of things, medical healthcare stuff Google has been doing. I think you guys are way ahead of other competitors, in my view. So my question is, if I'm building a science acceleration platform, but if I'm leveraging Google Cloud platforms like AlphaFold, should I look at Google as my competitor, or I just go and build some applications which I still have room to grow in the cancer space? That's my question.
Yeah, it's a really good question. What the part that I'm less familiar with some of the health sciences aspect of what Google does, but I'm closely involved on the Google Cloud side of it. Certainly our point of view is that, as I've also talked about when I was up on stage earlier, is that, look, we want to be able to provide the technology, provide the infrastructure so that we can also enable the next level of innovation. So I see that, and there are many spaces that have vast amount, like giant markets that, can have a lot of winners. And so for, at least from the Google Cloud infrastructure side of it, certainly, our bet is that, look, we're here to enable innovators like yourselves to be able to do more there.
And just to add from the startup standpoint, we've built a product that has overlap with different Google products in some cases, but it's about what the customers require, and so the Google team will work with you. So even if so we have vector, graph, and multimodal stuff, there is Google Vector Search, but if the customer you are serving is going to require that unified combination, then as long as you're running on GCP, of course, then they'll help you out.
We didn't even pay for that for her to say that.
We see all the cancer researchers in one area, it turns out. Look, do you compete? Does Stanford's Cancer Research Lab compete with a Chinese Cancer Research Lab? I mean, maybe on some level, but you know what? Both of them are building progress for humanity with a shared goal of trying to solve the scourge of cancer for us, right? Are there ways in which startups compete with Google? In some cases, even if they use Google platforms? Yeah, right? It's like, it's not that, there's never any overlap, that there's never any competition. But I think that in almost all these cases that I see, startups have a differentiated position. That's something that Google won't do, Google can't do, Google shouldn't do. That is with a specific subset of a population, a specific type of technology, a specific type of expertise. You've gathered, a group of people that you care about to go do something totally new and novel. And I think that a lot of times people, they look at large companies and they say, oh my goodness, like what if Google comes? I actually don't think it happens that much that Google just full on squash it, or any of these companies actually just full on squash a market by some launch or something along those lines. People, ChatGPT launched Agent Kit and people say, oh my goodness, all the Zapier and whatnot, they're in big trouble. Are they really in big trouble? I mean, like it might affect some of it, but they actually have very different targets of their business. Right. And I think, you talk to the Zapier CEO, they'll be like, yeah, this just brings momentum into our area. And here's our customer base and there's their customer base. So why are you guys worried? Right. And so I would say worry a lot. My personal opinion is I talk to a lot of startups. I advise a bunch of startups and I try to help them figure out where their market niche is, what their position is, where they're differentiated. Right. And my general take is that people are way more worried about competition than they should be, because mostly you build a cool product, it works out for you in the end.
Love it. Let's do two really quick ones here, and then we'll we'll go to startup pitches. And of course, people I think will be here after. You can follow up. Quick question.
Sure. Not a huge believer in what I'm reading right now because of what I'm seeing with AI, but some of the latest news with the AI bubble being reminiscent of the .com bubble. I'm just curious of your reaction to that kind of news. I'm not a believer in it, but I'm just looking at some of the stocks. People are getting paranoid. What are your thoughts on that? I just curious.
Not at all like the .com bubble. .com bubble is people are leveraged to the hilt. They're in insane debt. And this is not at all like that from a financial perspective. That was a financial disaster waiting to happen, right? This is a different kind of financial disaster where giant companies are overvalued potentially, but that has much less negative distributed effect on the economy.
I think I would also say some of the things get amplified too much because of the social media life that we are in. It's like, these things happen. There's always companies that are overvalued. There are always companies who deserve funding, don't get it. But it's just now the microphone somehow is like, it's on the loudspeaker all the time. So some people always get to make it such that, all the engineers are gone. But really, hey, we are living proofs. It's not.
Right. Last quick, do you want to throw something?
Yeah, just a very quick thing. I've been looking into infrastructure investments for the last 5 years, was building models, trying to predict what's going to happen in the next 10, 20 years. It's almost impossible to build a crystal ball, even with the most powerful Gemini model. But one thing that I realized, NVIDIA and other companies in the space, they got into this perfect storm where there were all these hyperscalers or large companies like Google, Amazon, Apple, and others that had billions of dollars of cash sitting on their balance sheet. And in some way, it's good that this amount of money is getting deployed right now into creating manufacturing jobs, building those data centers, etc. So in some way, it's good for the economy. On the other hand, though, I recently saw the stat that like 90% of the US GDP growth for the last quarter was attributed to this data center investment. And so this is where things get like a little too far, right? And so there's going to be some natural rebalancing. The good news, we live in a free market economy, and things will rebalance themselves. I'm not too worried about it.
A quick question. So, topic of AGI. Not even, I'm sorry, start with introduction. Dan Goncharoff, research engineer. Topic of AGI, definition of AGI. There is at least 3 popular definitions currently, and Tris, apparently you have a paper about it. What's your favorite definition of AGI?
So levels of AGI is based off of like levels of self-driving. You know,
Levels, definition.
I understand. I understand. So I'll give you the very short version, and then you can disagree with my terminology. Your car right now is self-driving. If you just take your hands off the wheel, it just doesn't self-drive for very long, right? You'll crash into something really fast. But then if I use cruise control, then it'll go longer. If I use adaptive cruise control, it'll go even longer. If I use lane keep assist, it'll go even longer. So what is a car that is self-driving? Right? Is it a car with cruise control, or is it a Waymo, or is it something that's way beyond where a Waymo is today? All of those, they're all very good definitional questions, but I don't think that you can realistically point a single spot on the spectrum and be like, that's AGI.
Hmm.
That's why we did the levels of AGI paper, people.
But that's not measurement. What's about direction?
Oh, like, are we almost there? Is that what you're asking?
No. Again, there is economical impact, there is recursive self-improvement, and there is ability to pick up new skills, right? There's 3 different definitions. Which one is your favorite?
Actually, I don't think it's any of those. I think it's ability to do cognitive skills that humans can do at or above human level. And whether that generalizes or it's very specific. So for example, 100 years ago, you would have been considered to be a very educated man, if you could play chess well. And if I said, if I could build a machine that could beat you in chess, would that be an intelligent machine? You would say, well, yes, obviously, right? But now, like, your wristwatch can beat every human alive at chess, right? Is it an intelligent machine? Oh, that's arguable, right? But like, it's on a spectrum. In truth, that's a very narrow type of intelligence. And now we're focusing on, like, what does that mean for generalization?
Love it. We will have our panelists here after. If you have additional questions, let's give a huge thank you, round of applause to our awesome panel. We figured out AGI, the economy, data centers. We covered it all. It's pretty cool. Okay, now is my favorite moment of the night. Who's ready for startup pitches? Woo! Okay. Awesome. We're going to hear from 12 founders who are building the future using AI. They're just going to get 60 seconds each. Let's keep the energy going. We'll be over in 12 minutes. You'll have refreshments and food and all the above, but let's keep the energy. Do we have Alec in the room to kick us off? Hey, big round of applause to Alec. Come on up.
Hey everyone, my name is Forrest Houston. I'm the founder and CEO of Alec. And I want all of you to take a second and think of the best person you've ever gotten to work with. The one who caught problems, communicated with intent, asked some, great clarification questions, and then they never actually needed other guidance after that. They were able to kind of execute the workflow. That's what we built at Alec. Whether there's a $47,000 payment that hits your NetSuite overnight, or related invoice in bill.com that's still open, or your Brex transactions haven't synced into QuickBooks, so tomorrow's cash forecast is already wrong. A great teammate would notice the mismatch, then check in with you to confirm a miscellaneous detail. They would match the payment details in NetSuite, they would clear the invoice in bill.com, and I'm happy to say that's actually what Alec is. Alec is a cognitive teammate that basically accomplishes most of those tasks across a spectrum of systems. We have a handful of customers and we're getting really strong inbound. So not currently raising, but we're looking for teammates that want to come work with us on building really the first cognitive teammate that will work with you just like the best team member you've ever had. Thank you.
That was fantastic. Also, great swag from our last AI gathering. That's really great. Love seeing swag out in the wild. App Axon, let's give a big round of applause. Come on up.
Hey everyone, I'm Pratik Roy Chaudhary. I'm a co-founder at Apaxon. Here's a math problem. On one hand, you've got developers who are building and shipping code at 10x speed with all the AI coding assistance they have at their disposal. And on the other hand, you've got security engineers who are still doing manual threat modeling, manual security review, manual red teaming exercises, which can take weeks or even months. And there is clearly a disconnect between the two. And security engineers are wondering, where is that cursor-like experience for me to move faster? And that's where Apaxon comes in, where we have built 3 agents purely focused on proactive product security and takes a security engineer from design to deployment. At the design stage, we are looking at a threat modeling agent, which uncovers all the threats in the application, uncovers all the security requirements, etc. In the development stage, there is the security review agent, which ensures that all the security requirements that have been identified are actually taken care of in code. And in the deployment stage, there is a red teaming agent, which performs actual attacks on the application and ensures that all the threats that have been identified are actually mitigated. So that we can provide an end-to-end proactive product security for security engineers, just like Cursor does for developers. We are looking for design partners. So if you are a product security engineer or a product security leader or building products in any of the spaces, would love to talk to you. Thank you.
It's fantastic. Love hearing all these. Azeta AI, let's give a big round of applause.
Hello, everyone. So basically, if you ever, I would say, came from a multilingual kind of space or environment, you are basically kind of dealing with all the information, not in only one language, but in multiple languages. You will start your day by reading newspapers in like Arabic to see like how Morocco is doing. And then you will continue to actually learn about like all the research that Google is doing in English. And then you will move to actually find a good music to listen to while you are vibe coding in Moroccan Darija. And then you will go and finish your day to see like actually what Trump is saying on Twitter. So actually, that's why I'm always kind of like ready. Like I'm always having my passport on me. And so like the human mind is not like kind of monolingual, but it's kind of multilingual. But unless you have the ability to learn like all those languages, you will not be able to tap into the knowledge that those languages have. So what we are building is like a solution that provides both humans and also agents the ability to search knowledge in an omnilingual space, which is in a unified space where you can actually access any information in any language with just like one language instead of translating the question to all different languages and understanding it. And to solve this problem, we kind of created our own IP, anchor-free contrastive learning method, which actually just like removes the anchor-based like kind of methods, like kind of anyone is familiar with the space will understand it. And to add more to it, we built like a whole different, I would say, infrastructure for vector search that is not based on similarity search, but it's mostly based on a hashing algorithm that we created to actually transform the vector search from like kind of Pinecone-like that is using only vector similarity that is, I'd say, very expensive to scale. Yeah, it's very cheap to actually start, but it's very expensive to scale, to a vector search that is based only on SQL using a hash that is vector-based, not actually the whole latent space. And we are looking for kind of just like collaboration with embedded Gemma, but I did not see it on the slide, so I was disappointed. And also like some compute to actually scale our benchmark data set that is like parallel translation. And if you want to learn more about like the research, I'm presenting tomorrow in the DevFest. And also, thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Super appreciate it. Thank you, Azetta. Buddy OS. I love this one. Let's give a huge round of applause to Buddy OS.
Good evening. So I'm Ngân. I'm from Buddy OS, and we face with the challenge every day that our kids spend a lot of time on the YouTube team. The second problem that I don't want to answer the 1,000 question why for my niece. And then we are operating system that we provide like the AI obtains combined between like hardware and AI to work with a toy company to transform traditional toy become interactive education toy. So ladies and gentlemen, if you don't have any idea for your kids for Christmas, yes, we so excited to say we have the first toy available on Best Buy today. And we have more product lines coming up for the Walmart upcoming for next year. We are here to seeking like the investment at the 2 million, but more than that, I think like the most important that our team want to work with Google in like different departments in corporate like between Gemini and also like the hardware from the Google. Thank you very much.
The future of education and robotics right there. I'm just going to adjust this for the live stream if I can. 1 second. Nope. Is that going to let me do it? Return to. Okay. I'll have to figure that out next. Okay. I'm sure they can all hear us, so we'll just continue on. Oh, wait. Did that go? Oh, look at that. Oh my gosh, AI. Figured out where I was. So great. Up next, let's welcome up Hestis. Big round of applause to Hestis.
Hey, my name is Saurabh. I'm co-founder and CEO of Hestis. Hestis is an AI for hardware development. Now, most physical objects around us, from the chair that you're sitting on to the car that you drove to get here, was designed in a CAD software. The thing is, there is no such thing as code completion in CAD, so we built it. Up until now, engineers spend most of their time on manual click works. But using our software, we understand engineers' design intent, and we propose their next actions to them so they can simply take it and apply it. We have thousands of engineers using our software, and right out of the box, we make them 2.5 times faster and 4 times reducing the manual clicks. We are veterans of hardware and AI industries, have raised pre-seed from Y Combinator and other high-profile investors, and just yesterday released the latest version, which you can check it out using the QR code. And with that, we are starting our seed round. So if you're interested, come talk to me. You're Hestis. Thank you.
I love it when people drop their latest and the launch of their seed round here at AI Gatherings. So cool. I'm just going to have to refresh really quickly for the next one because we have a later perfect update. All right, here we go. Ikidis, come on up. Ikidis, big round of applause to them.
Matt, thank you so much for that. Again, my name is Sabi Siddiqui. I'm the founder and CEO of Ikidis. I spent close to 8 years as an attorney in New York City. Now, our problem was that every single day we had terrible tech, and that just made our lives that much more difficult. All that tech led to fragmented tools. We were using a number of different things on literally a daily basis. And frankly, that led to a lot of wasted time. And that led to, of course, higher costs, not only for our law firm, but also for our clients that we were trying to help. And the bigger problem was I was very excited for all the new AI solutions, with ChatGPT, of course, then, and sorry to call specific names out, but also Harvey, Lagora, Spellbook, all these things. And frankly, I mean, they were no better than ChatGPT. So what we did is we took a step back and really tried to understand why there wasn't a difference. And what we've done is created finally a first non-wrapper for legal AI, and starting with the legal operating system. We built our own proprietary architectures, our own RAG, our own architecture, entirely from the ground up. And what that's led to is, just better legal reasoning, better answers, less hallucinations, whole 9 yards. And now the cool part is we launched only in March of 2025, so this year. We're at around 200 law firms, a few thousand attorneys use us on a daily basis, and we're getting close to about $1 million in ARR. What we're looking for is, and we've been in San Francisco this last week, to close our round of a $20 million raise. So of course, would love any assistance with that as well. Thank you all so much.
Fantastic. Thank you all. Just a few more. I'm delighted to introduce Nyquist AI. Let's give a big round of applause to Nyquist.
Hi, I'm KK from Nyquist AI. So every medicine, every medical device needs FDA regulated. People need the data to deal with FDA. A lot of data is publicly available, but they are fragmented and they are hidden in government website, government PDF files. U.S. government has a very good policy, the Freedom of Information Act. So they are disclosing millions of PDF files every year. But people don't have the time to read through them. So we use AI to digest them and make them ready to use, friendly to use, and we live in your AI tool. We have around 200 customers, and this is the latest code we have this Monday. So we save them quite a lot of time. So if you have any friends who needs to deal FDA, let us know. We can help.
Fantastic. And an accelerator alum right there. We have a few of them here. Auditor, come on up. Big round of applause. Auditor.
Okay. Video is how we all communicate today. Everyone's making video, but actually the process of making something that people actually want to watch still takes time. So video editing is hard, expensive, and time consuming. We're solving that. I'm Marwan, co-founder and CTO of Auditor. We're building an AI agent that takes our raw footage and transforms it into a polished content in minutes using natural language. So you can basically simply upload your video, describe your vision, and Auditor, as you can see, analyzes the content, handles all the heavy lifting from smart cuts to animations and everything, and applies a custom style that feels authentic to your brand. When others spend like 6 hours editing like 10 minutes of content while you doing it in minutes using Auditor, you have the most competitive edge, as Trish said, speed or time to create more. So if you're a creator, a DevRel, or a creative team making social media content, we would love to work with you, and we would love for you to test Auditor early, be part of our community, and also help us shape the future of storytelling for the $200 billion creator economy. And for people who are watching, we're cooking. Auditor.com. Thank you.
Thank you. Good to remember our guests joining from all over the world. That's great. Up next, another accelerator alum that I love in healthcare, on acoustics. Big round of applause.
Thank you. So there are over 2 billion people, 1 in 4, that are at risk of developing liver disease. The current diagnosis is just expensive, it's depending on the specialist and the operator, and it's simply not scalable. This is a huge market of over 60 billion by 2030 that is only growing because there is more obesity, there is more diabetes, and there is also more treatments and drugs that are being generated to treat all these things. So acoustics is democratizing ultrasound diagnostics by building point-of-care solutions. Our Onyx AI software model can run in any ultrasound by any specialist, no matter the experience, and can provide lab-grade liver diagnostics. We are launching our 510K registration study already since 2 months ago, and we are looking for both strategic funding, clinical partners, and software developers, AI engineers, to help us scale that worldwide and deploy it for everybody.
Thank you so much, Acoustics. We have a great treat coming up. I won't spoil it all. Optimal AI, come on up.
All right, woo! Thank you, Matt. Hi, everyone. I am Iba, and I'm one of the co-founders of Optimal AI. We are actually a formerly exited founding team, former AI researchers that started our company, Optimal AI, just about 9 months ago. And in those 9 months, we've interviewed just over 250 engineering leaders. What's really interesting is that as more and more code is becoming AI generated, there are a slew of problems that are now happening at last mile of software delivery. So that means code review, finding security vulnerabilities, but doing it so with code-based context, because a lot of coding agents do not have full code-based context. And so what we do at Optimal is we build these agents called OptiBots. They sit inside GitHub, GitLab, VS Code, and they are already live with just over 2,500 engineers using us today, from companies that are YC-backed and fast-growing, all the way to MongoDB, who are now our largest customer. Woo. And for these customers, how they use OptiBots is they basically use them for things like code review. So you can just talk to OptiBot in natural language inside GitHub, ask it questions about the current framework that you're using, the language, back-end related questions, front-end. And what it does is it actually builds context over time. So it takes about a week to build full code-based context. But once it does, you can kind of think about it as a baby that's growing, that's starting to become a full stack engineer so that it can build that context over time. There's really interesting problems that we're solving, but here's the really cool thing. We're now growing at the rate of onboarding 100 net new customers a month. Thank you. And what that means is we actually now have an offer as well. So you can visit getoptimal.ai. There's the QR code over there. We're offering free unlimited tokens during your trial. So you can run code reviews. You can have OptiBots basically building this code-based context. And the other cool thing is you're also going to get insight into productivity. So what does our team's productivity look like pre and post AI? So those are some of the questions we answer. Now, for the treat, there was, I think we mentioned some music, rapping. So here's what I'm going to do. We're going to try to do a little bit of a rap on OptiBot. So we're going to start with some music. Oh, okay, wait, no. let me rewind that, sorry. Okay, let's try again. Code lines dancing, syntax tight in the limelight. OptiBot scanning, got the bugs in its sight. Binary magician algorithm so clean. Review game strong. AI supreme. OptiBot speaking truth in the digital stream. Spits it through the code like a hacker's dream. Lines are fine, it's a pristine scene. Future of the craft, you know what I mean. Thank you, thank you.
Okay, that was a first. I know you're, unicorn status. I told you were in for a treat. Pretty cool, right? Up next, let's welcome up Quizly. Just two more. Come on up, Quizly.
Thank you, Matt. Hi, everyone. I'm Tazo, co-founder and CEO of Quizly. Ever since user-facing LLMs launched, the way people shop has fundamentally changed. They no longer use keywords or filters. They write full sentences or ask questions, just like we saw today in Paige's demo. And users are doing this, and then search engine fails because legacy systems are not designed for such queries. Retailers lose sales. Even agentic commerce platforms from Google or ChatGPT, they expect agent-ready product catalogs. And we are building infrastructure that allows retailers to own the entire catalog index and have shoppers have exactly the same experience on their site like they're having on these LLM platforms, and also be found and indexed on those platforms in live and with live catalogs, updated stock, and so on. When we first launched, we helped our customer increase search to purchase conversion by 50%. And now we are into scaling mode, so we are looking for partnerships and distributions like Google's partner network, and we're going to open a pre-seed round soon. Thank you.
Love that. And great swag. Look at that yellow sweatshirt. I love that. I think this is our last, but certainly not least pitch. Let's give a huge round of applause to Spellbound AI. Come on up.
Hey, everyone. I'm Salali, founder and CTO of Spellbound. About a year ago, I had to explain to my parents why I was leaving a self-driving car company to work on fan fiction, which is a type of creative writing. It's because I think that AI for creative is really, really interesting. I think it's probably one of the most sticky use cases for AI. And so I started with a really specific kind of writing, fan fiction, which is usually people consuming stories that are really, really specific. But I came up with a platform where they'd work with AI to write new stories. And once I launched that, I realized that AI's ability to write is good, but there's definitely room for improvement. And so then I moved on to model post training. And that's what I've spent most of the year doing, really working on getting models that are better and better at writing fiction. So today the platform has a few thousand monthly active users. And I'm up here because I'm really excited about talking to other people who work on post training, and especially like stuff that doesn't verify easily. I actually use Gemma as one of my targets, so yeah. But yeah, and I have a coupon code up here that you can try, but I'll warn you, my retention's like 60%. So if you try it, there's a good chance now you owe me $10 a month for like ever. So.
Great. Fantastic. Let's give a big round of applause. Beware, you might get addicted. Awesome. We've made it to the end. We're super thrilled. We got to hear from amazing founders. Let's give them one more big, huge round of applause to our founders. We got to hear from some amazing Googlers and other founders on our panel. Let's give them a huge round of applause. We heard some great demos from Paige, and mostly we're so thrilled that we got to be with you all tonight. The final cost of admission, all the drinks and food outside are free right after this. The only cost is we want to hear your feedback. How was it for you? How can we make this better for you in the future? Take 2 minutes and please go on to the forum. We'd love to hear from you all. And we need you before you, yeah, the doors are locked until you leave. No. Take 2 minutes. Let us know what was great, what could be improved. I'm going to pull up a little song while we do that. That's good. We should definitely have. Should we? Yeah, why not? That's better, right? It's the first song that shows up on my Spotify anyway. Okay, this is gonna get you really pumped to fill this out. Yeah, we. Oh yeah, wait, we need your rap again. Yeah, that's great.
I was a ghost, I was alone. Given the throne, I didn't know.
Okay, awesome. Keep filling those out. Again, if you want to join Startup School, we've got that. And now go build, everyone. Have a great rest of your night. We'll be hanging out for a little bit more. Big round of applause to you all for coming out. Appreciate it. Yeah. With the panel? Yeah. The startups. Yeah. If you're a startup that pitched or you were on the panel, we're gonna get a photo with everyone that was just up. Founders, come on up. Yeah, where should we panelists and yeah. Yeah, I guess we can have 2 levels, right? Yeah, found it. Come on in. We got a pro photo here. Chris and Francis, we're gonna get a photo. You'll be right there. Paige, Max, can we get you guys? We're gonna do a quick photo. Come on in. Yeah.
Who wants to sit on my shoulders?
Come on in.
I would do
There's
it.
also space up there. If you pitched or were on the panel, come on in.
I like your sweatshirt.
Thank you.
Good choice.
I got it from this person.
Yeah.
You know, someone's like, who's the best person you've ever worked with? I'm like, yo, right here. You're right here.
You're right here. All right.
Try not to look too awkward.
Yeah. Oh, go down. Oh, yeah. It's up to you. Yeah. Just over here. Where? Right here? Okay.
I know.
Great. Big smile. One with hands up. Yay! Don't cover someone's face. Okay, that's one. Nice. Yay! Yay! Thank you all so much.
Thank you.
Getting better and better and better. Yeah. That was so fun having you.
I remember like 2 or 3 years ago, I was wow, they posted the sets. I'm so bored of like just sleeping. Like you guys still doing all these fascinating
Demos on them, and I honestly, I think the best part is
Having all these people building stuff. Like, that's.
You might be perfect. Hey, buddy. I see you. Thanks for being here,
long time
man.
no see. How are you?
Really
Great. This is great.
Thanks, man. I
I
appreciate
live nearby, so just stop
Wait,
by.
I'm
This is
so
great.
glad.
This is awesome.
So glad you did. How have you
Great
been?
match. Doing good, man.
Traveling all over.
Traveling all over. Start traveling again.
Wait, what's next? Where are you going?
I'm raising my own venture fund, but I'm also working with alumni. You see, like thank you for helping. Yeah, I'm helping with your own business right now. Yeah. Hey, you should have come by and just drop by our office. Next time you're in town, it's awesome. You should meet them. Yeah.
They seem amazing.
That's amazing. The benchmark investment.
That's really cool.
3 million users. Yeah.
Wait, I love.
Yeah.
I've been hanging.
Yeah.
I've been hanging with just some great folks that are all friends with you. Well, it's the St. Finchers.
Oh, you think it's late, right?
Yeah.
I think it's great. Yeah. And let me know how I can help. Right? Yeah.
Actually, I don't know if you're looking at energy at all, but I'm hosting an AI energy.
Actually, yeah. You should. Did you pay Ronnie? Yeah. Energy. I know a few VCs that might be interested. There's one firm called Cruiser. They do a lot of energy power data centers. I can also send you a few